Hi, I'm Ryan, and I'm going to be talking about my team's project, Engie Panel. So at a first glance, it's a OSU-themed dashboard, which allows you to see energy consumption in multiple different fields in multiple different buildings. So the top status bar here has the name of the building that you're on, and allows you to switch between dorm buildings and non-dorm buildings, which affects the prompts that show in the Change Building tab. So essentially, you're able to control which building you're on, and if you want to switch between dorm buildings, residence buildings, and non-dorm, like the library and the recreation center, you can switch that way. And each graph shows a week of data and has a comparison against the 2-week daily average plotted as a horizontal line. So you can see when it exceeds the horizontal line, it's going above the daily average on each of those days, and when it's below, it's well below the daily average for those days. And you can just freely move around and look at the different weeks, different buildings, different dorms. But yeah, the project is live right now on engie.zugis.live. Also at the bottom we have a bunch of tips that cycle through and give advice about things students could do to see an improvement. That's the panel. The GUI was only half of it, because we did spend a lot of time working on an API that consumed the CSV files and was able to provide JSON data for these graphs. So this is an example of an API output. The status bar here is Engie API zugis.live/API, and then the name of the building, and then a timestamp for the date, and then the number of days. So it could quickly be 10, or it could be 1,000. And the API responds very, very quickly and can scale very fast, very optimized. This is another example of the API. This is for getting the average of a certain time span. It accepts a starting point, and then it accepts a number of days prior to that, which it will take the past 30-day average before this timestamp and return it. And one of the nicer things about the level of polish on this project, is that everything is encapsulated in Docker containers. Everything has been written to scale separately, so the GUI is in a separate container than the backend, the API, and they're both deployed on a server that I run, and I have a bunch of Docker containers on, and they are all reverse proxied through a domain name that I own. So yeah, that was our project. Feel free to check it out, engie.zugis.live. Yeah, have a great weekend.